That is... intro ruined! Get out of my way, guy! Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft Gamemode 4 G4 server. We're in the base, the ice base, the snow base, the Hoth base, whatever you want to call it base. And I'm destroying it because I'm getting attacked by pigmen. Why are they angry? It's probably because I just killed all of their friends. Let's put that back in the ground. I would like to keep those repeaters, thank you. Let's fix the damage that was just done here. That should do it. Yes, welcome back. That was a little bit of an awkward intro right there. I've been working on the base in between episodes, and there is a lot to do. And it may not look like I've done too much, but let's go over and have a look in this area. So, this thing's been running around the clock, making loads and loads of noise, and getting us tons and tons of drops. Look at all of this. We're going to be able to make loads of awesome building blocks with that. That is really cool. And over on this side, we also have some more stuff that's been done. So this thing from the last episode, which apparently I recorded twice and managed to fail with my editing and put it in twice to the video. This thing right here is now on this side. You see we've got one over there. It's the crusher setup. And that means that this farm over here is ready to go. And we should be ready to hook this thing up. So let's go and grab our Guardian spawn egg. What I've been doing is basically setting up this area. And then up the top here, I've kind of revised the farm a little bit. So if we look in here, you'll see that the water is higher up in the corners. Let's get out of here before they shoot us. That guy's been in there for a long time. I don't know how he got in here. Well, I do. He sort of walked up the stairs and fell in. But there you go. So we revised the water in here. And by raising it up by 1, it now goes all the way to the middle, which means the Guardian should drop in there a little easier. So at the moment, we've got a skeleton spawner. What we want to do is change it to a Guardian spawner. And straight away they drop in. So I'm going to get rid of all of these torches later on. And also this little bit right here. But that's basically this one done exactly like the one on the other side. So this one's going to be an Eldian Garter spawner. And in a moment we're going to upgrade that. But for now, what we have is a crusher. So any of the Guardians that are going to fall in here, because remember, this thing's going to be always active while we're in this area. And wow, they really do make a lot of noise, don't they? And now we've doubled up on the amount of noise. But yes, they're going to be active in the entire time, so it was good to get that all set up before upgrading it to an Eldian Garter spawner. So this thing is going to kill them, and what we'll also do is work on some redstone to create a crusher setup where we basically bring them down to one hit, which is going to be a little bit more complicated. But it's something that we're going to be working on. So I don't think there's too much else to talk about. I haven't done anything else in particular around here. We do need to fix our zombie spawner and get it all the way back up there, or pig zombie, as it says. And the only other thing I can think of is eggs. You see, we didn't have many eggs here on the server. I just managed to set up an egg farm, and then this thing has been running with 3 chickens for a while. And we got a total of 8 eggs. That is pathetic. I'm guessing that when I'm over in that area, this isn't loaded, because I've been around here for a long, long time doing some AFK and getting all of these prismarine shards, as you saw. We do have quite a few of them. But anyway, we're kind of ready to go on to the next step. So now we're going to upgrade that spawner to an Elder Guardian spawner. That is such a disgusting sound, but it's about to change because we're going to go and upgrade this thing. All we need is a wet sponge to throw on the top of it, and then it should be upgraded. And it's very, very dark in here, so we've got to be careful. Let's jump. We haven't got much headroom, have we? No, I missed. That will go into the hoppers down below, don't worry. And oh, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was so cool. And a little sound and some parkour effects there. And oh, no, 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 no. Let's get back up top. Not while there's Elder Guardians spawning in here, although to be fair, they're not much of a risk, are they? Compared to the regular ones. So let's hang around for a second. Oh, and it looks like one has spawned directly on top of it. That reminds me. Oh no, mining fatigue. Oh, it's all going wrong. Oh, and there's some right there. This is absolutely crazy. They're massive. Let's hop out down here. We need to put a block on top of the spawner so they don't do that again. But now we've got the mining fatigue. That's a problem we've got to solve. How's this going to affect things? Yeah, that's really slow. That's supposed to be instant. So we've got to solve that. Don't worry, I had that in mind. A lot of you pointed that out in the comments last time. So that guy's sort of trapped in the corner hanging out. I haven't seen an Eldor go down into the middle yet, which is kind of worrying. He's still hanging out up the top there. We might have to make some modifications. And the last time you want to do that is after you've put this thing in. Because now we've got the old mining fatigue going on. Okay, yeah, they don't want to go down into the middle. That's a really big problem. That means we're probably going to have to redesign this thing. And now that I think about it, you know, the wet sponge wasn't costly. And I guess we could kill loads of guardians again. So if we end up having to destroy that spawner or move it or something like that, it's not going to be the end of the world. But that didn't go too well. Now I've got to put my thinking cap on and figure out what we're going to do here. So I decided to come back to this world and play around with this thing, and I feel like I made a big mistake. I've kind of run into this with an idea that hasn't been fully tested. So you can see here, this is what we're going to have happen in our world. But the thing is, I've actually expanded the area down the bottom so that it's got a gap that's 3 by 3, so there should be plenty of space for the Elder Guardians to fall through. And that's actually what they were doing. They were doing that a moment ago, and I got them down into this crusher area. I hooked up the redstone. You can see we've got 6 lots of pistons on either side, and as soon as I powered it, they disappeared. Now I don't know if they sort of jumped back up top, but my thinking here is that they've obviously got a hitbox that's probably around 2 by 2 or something like that. So when we push these together, they're either going to get crushed or something weird's going to happen. And I think something weird happened and they went back up top. But now what we're seeing is that the Elder Guardians, there's so many of them in this room up here, they're not making their way down into the middle. So I think we should think about a different way to work with these guys, and I've got an idea that it's a little bit eccentric. Yes, that word is the one I want to use. It's actually a really cool idea, and it popped into my head literally a second ago while I was recording. So I think what we'll do is we'll go back onto the Hermitcraft world, and we'll try and downgrade the spawner that we have, the Elder Guardian one, and turn it into a regular Guardian spawner, and then that way we'll have a double farm which we can use, and then we'll build the Elder Guardian the sponge farm. There we go, it's a spam. Sponge farm for ya. And this guy just slowed down with his spinning, which is interesting. But yes, that's what we're going to do. So let's get back on the server. So a moment ago, my mining fatigue ran out. I was standing over there doing some enchanting. Got some new fancy armor. That's because we're going to get hit a lot in a moment. Let's put it like that. So we don't want to waste all of that on our diamond armor. See, I've been thinking actually this is pretty silly, because even though I planned on containing these guys and killing them, etc., when we're sort of moving in and out of this area, we're probably always going to end up with like one of them hanging around and giving us mining fatigue. So my initial solution was to have some sort of cows at either side with little dispensers for buckets, and I think actually we're going to make our lives a lot easier if we just have a tunnel that leads off to an isolated place where we can harvest the big guys. So we're going to downgrade this to just a double guardian spawner. Hello. And we're going to go into this room where, oh my god, this is crazy. Can they still target me? It looks like they can. I want to kind of shield all of this off. This is just crazy right now. We could do with a torch in here as well, actually, so we can see what we're doing. There we go, that's fantastic. And now we're going to build a little bit of a platform. Stop targeting me. Oh god, you spawned up here. Oh man, I was kind of fearing that. Let's just throw in a few more blocks like this, keep ourselves nice and safe, and then try, oh my god, to get a redstone block under there, and then get in the rails and all of that as well. Okay, it looks like, oh, that's supposed to be the redstone block. Yep. So now we've got to mine this with the old mining fatigue. Look at this, it's going to take forever, and we're going to get zapped. Oh, we couldn't even break it first. Oh god, this is the one thing I thought that was going to make this difficult was putting in a block that you needed to remove. And there we go. Okay, we've removed it. Let's actually eat and heal some health here. And then go in. That needs to be that sort of block. Oh my god, everything's targeting me. And the problem now is we're also creating a platform for them to spawn on, and we can't remove it easily. Okay, this block now needs to go as well. But I think we've done the most of what we need to do, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I have no idea what sort of spawner this is going to turn into. But if we put down... Oh, did I bring a minecart with me? Of all the things, I didn't bring a minecart. Okay, let's go grab one. Okay, let's see what happens then. I got my minecart. It refuses to pick it up because it's the wrong type, which means I'm going to just have to... Oh, that's a point. I didn't even need to pick this up. I could have just used a guardian egg on it. Okay, well, we learnt that I'm still just making mistakes all the time. I don't know what's up with me lately. Yeah, we just need to use a guardian egg on it. Then we're going to have all of these guys to kill. Oh, ghost keys at the worst time possible. Where's the crusher? Let's let the water bring us down. Oh, this is my demise. Yep, I'm dead. Fair enough. Fair enough. I figured... Oh, we're all the way back here. I figured let's let the water bring us to the middle, fall down below and get out of there safe. Nope, I hope all of my items are going to be okay. And by the way, you heard me shouting ghost keys. That totally happened. I wasn't pressing the button and it moved me into the water. Oh, I don't even care. I don't even care. Alright, so This is turning out to be a very derpy episode. Looks like I'm going to have to kill a bunch of guardians and simply right-click on the spawner, use the vanilla functions to turn it back into the normal type. Oh, this is going funny. Crazy. Whatever you want to call it. It's going something. Okay, I've got all my items back, and I'm done being silly for today's episode. We're going to go build the Elder Guardian spawner farm thing somewhere else over in that direction, and I'm going to convert that one back, which means just sitting here, casually killing these guys as they get crushed, and slowly earning up the kills. How many we got so far? We have 23, that's good, it doesn't take long at all. And we got all of our items back. Oh, and I should take those and start regenning that already. But there you go, right, so I'll get those things done and I'll be back with you soon. Oh, and by the way, I'm also going to fix the gold farm as well. I figured while I'm in this area, it feels a little bit silly. These guys... Well, actually, it's being activated because it's down there, and it's in range. When it's up the top there, it's not going to be. But yeah, I'll also fix this as well. Okay, I'm going to attempt to fix this in a way that could also be potentially disastrous, but I think I've thought about this and it should work. So all of these up here are shut. That's important because we don't want anything to fall down in between here, but just in case, we're going to put some water down the bottom. Now, judging from my hotbar, you've probably already figured out a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to do here. But we're going to make our way to the top. Going to watch out for those ghost keys. We're going to get a bit of TNT here and just drop it in because it's going to land in the water. So let's take a step back over to here. Oh, quite a few of them died by the looks of that, which was not what I was expecting. Now this should get us some sponges as well. So let's go down and see if we actually got any of those. And maybe if we're quick enough we can watch the explosion. Probably not from down here. And that's the way we're going to kill them. And look at that, the drops are falling through, but the TNT hasn't fallen down into this space, which is good. And we've got to be careful as well. We don't want to destroy any of the drops, but no... Oh no, there's the sponge. Awesome, it's coming in. Sweet, that means it's probably stuck in the hoppers behind. This is working. This is actually working. I'm impressed. Okay, we're going to go up there. Soon I'll change it over to a regular one, but we're getting ourselves a tons of sponge. This is really cool. I like it. So this thing's fixed, we can tell from the pigmen here, and considering I've just been walking back and forth, quite a few of them have spawned. Yeah, lots of XP and gold, that's great. And then over here you can see out of the corner of my eye there, or screen, not the eye, oh we're having a real derp day today. I've decorated this area and I'm not 100% happy with it. We're probably going to change the textures of these blocks right here. People have been saying that they're not too keen on them, including you guys who watch the videos as well. I've been paying attention to all of the feedback, so that's going to change. And the shape here at the front is alright. I really wanted to include the use of these, and so they're kind of forced in a little bit. I love the way they change colour, but the texture overall isn't particularly impressive. So we've got this little corridor right here, and what we're going to do is have some sort of track or path that goes off into the distance, which will take us over to our Elder Guardian farm. And by the way, both of these have been fixed, so now we've got Guardian on that side, Guardian on this side. Everything is alright. But the thing is, I've been thinking about my design for the Elder Guardian farm, and XP has just built one. I thought we were going to be building one too, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, so I'm interested to see how he has done his. So we're going to head over there, hang out with XP for a bit, and see how his farm works. So I just had a little tour around XP's base with him. Man, this place is awesome. It's full of loads of cool stuff. And man, these damn fart bubbles. Mining fatigue is so annoying. But this is his Elder Guardian farm over here. And we're sort of halfway up it, so we'll go all the way to the top and have a look. So he's using full damage to kill these guys. Well, not to kill them, but to bring their health down at least. And then kills them with TNT, and you can use looting as well, which is pretty smart. We're going to be doing something quite similar, except we're not going to go with full damage. We're probably going to use a crusher to bring their health down. But this is it. And it's pretty cool when the Elder Guardians spawn, because of course they're massive, and they kind of hang out in this room, and even though there isn't water around the edges here, they always seem to make their way into the middle, which we can kind of observe a little bit here. So let's just have a watch. There you go. They sort of get caught in the water and then end up... Seems like as soon as they go into the water, it kind of guides them a lot more. They stop jumping, so eventually they fall into this bit and go all the way down there. And since I actually don't have further falling, but we're okay, we'll drop down like that. So now that's no longer activated, and then you can drop in some TNT and kill these guys, which is pretty cool. and then all the drops go down below. So I think I know what we're going to be doing for R1. The other idea I had though was to use minecarts with these guys, so I'm probably going to go into a test world and do a little bit of experimenting, because that could be a lot more interesting than building yet another crusher. But the thing is, I have no idea if it's actually going to be possible or not. And there's that glorious mining fatigue. And by the way, I drank some milk here earlier. Is there a cow around? There's probably one on the inside, and it removed my health because it removes all of the effects. So the way this works is it uses a potion effect to give you the extra hearts, and unfortunately they get cleared when you drink the milk, which is interesting. But then you can just re-equip it and get it back. So XP's somewhere down there, underground. Anyway, we're going to head back over to our base and get this Elder Guardian farm built, if I can remember the way out of here, which apparently I can't. So test number 1 initially looked quite promising, but every now and then the minecarts here, they kind of get caught and they just stop. In fact, it happens way too much, and I can't figure out why it is, but it seems like when they get picked up, sometimes they just decide that they're then going to stand still, which is kind of annoying. The other problem is sometimes the minecart goes across to the far side, and then the Elder Guardians come down this side of the water, and then it means that they're going to be trapped on the other side because the hitboxes nudge, and sometimes it doesn't drop them anywhere but above the minecart, which I think you can prevent by putting blocks above here and stuff. So at the moment I'm just looking up at how we're going to pick up the Elder Guardians. So that way failed, and now we're going to try a different way. I think what we're going to do is have multiple lines sort of approach it straight on like this. Even though this thing is in the way, we'll probably get rid of this. So it should be pretty obvious why this isn't working. You can see that the Elder Guardian doesn't really come out of the minecart at all, even though there's the activator rail here, but it's surrounded by them anyway, so it's probably going to end up going into a different one. So I was thinking, okay, so we make these things come out further across, and then they have their activator rails at different points. But the thing is, the ones in the middle, they're going to struggle because the ones on the side are going to drop these guys off sort of on top of the tracks anyway. So this isn't working. What I think we need to do is push them into a single corner using the water and then pick them up one by one. So hopefully what we can do is pick them up through the corner like this. So we'd have the track come up to the edge, and then when the minecart comes over here, if the water's pointing into this corner, that means there's always going to be an Elder Guardian whose hitbox is sort of coming through a little bit, and then the minecart can hopefully pick it up through the wall and bring it over to a place where we can separate it from the minecart and put it inside a crusher, which is going to be interesting. So I'll set that up and we'll see if it works. Well, in theory this works, but I'm seeing some interesting behaviour here, and I want to sort of take it a step backwards as to how I did this. So originally, that one right there, no, that's incorrect. This one here was actually a detector rail, and no, it would be that one there. So this wasn't working, and now we don't have any Elder Guardians to test with. Okay, let's give this a moment. Oh, there they go. So originally, this right here didn't work. I wonder if it's going to do it again. And yeah, look, they just go back and forth and it's not ejecting them. So something's a little bit finicky with how these work. So let's put in a second activator rail, and this time it occasionally does, sometimes it doesn't. This time it seems to be doing it every time, which is interesting. So another little experiment I did was put a block on top of it, and it stops them from getting out, which I did on this one over here. You can see this one, it's still ignoring it. I've got a feeling it's something to do with which blocks are nearby. Maybe these glass blocks on the corner here are actually affecting it somehow. And now we're letting the water out. So anyway, I've started to put some more blocks in different places to see what would happen. So they can get out like that, that's fine. But we want to kind of direct where they go, because sometimes they do what this guy's doing and land straight on the track again. So if we add some blocks alongside it, then we seem to manipulate where it goes. But also, I noticed this first one started ejecting them again, which it wasn't doing before. So we need some more Elder Guardians at this point. Okay, we've got quite a few of them. And if we put this down, you'll see now that they eject at the first one. And that's only when it's got a block alongside it. Now if we go and put in another row of blocks up here, you'll see that they take damage and they don't get ejected as well. Now the other thing I've noticed is it looks like he's taking a lot of damage. If you look at the way his little spikes are going in and out, it kind of looks like the cooldown for hitting them isn't in effect here, that he's taking tons of damage really quickly. And I'm not sure exactly how you'd test that, but you can see there, like, there is some strange behaviour with these things, but possibly we could use this to bring them down to a particular health. So I was thinking, okay, we have this long track, we have blocks alongside, and it brings them down to a certain health and then ejects them for us to kill, which would be a really interesting way of doing it. However, I don't think it would be too efficient, because you'd have the one thing on the line and then the other Elder Guardians here waiting to be picked up. So it would take a long time to bring each one down, and they'd probably build up. However, if we can think of a way to do it with multiple ones, maybe we have another little track over here that picks them up as well, then that might just be possible, and that might be a really interesting way to do it, to have these blocks as they're getting transported somewhere, crush them, and then eject them into a little containing area. But for now, what we're going to do is try and figure out if we can actually eject them into a specific area. And with glass, they don't get ejected. So it's not based on damage, it's based on the block position. I wonder what happens if we then remove the row below. So it seems like something at this height right here is stopping it from ejecting. This is fascinating stuff. And this is the kind of thing where I wish we could dive into the code and just read it. I might have to ask some friends if they know anything about this, because this is definitely some curious stuff we're finding here. Well, we have a lot of these Elder Guardians to test with. There are a lot of them here because I've been working on this for a while, and I come up with something that works, and in theory I think it would work in any situation. I'll explain it in a moment, but what I do want to say is that I really still am kind of puzzled as to how this works, but my theory is that it's only going to eject it if its hitbox isn't already colliding with something, because when you put a block here it doesn't work, when you put a block there it doesn't work, and here as well, which is fascinating. So anyway, here's what I've come up with. We'll see it in action first of all, then I'll explain it. So it drops it off on the side, and then if we just sort of hover above, you can see that all the Elder Guardians will end up going down into this space over here. So now this guy's always in the same spot. If we go and break this minecart, which is actually something that sort of won't happen, I've kind of simulated that incorrectly. Now that guy's going to fall down. What's actually going to happen when we run out of guys over here is it's going to continue going back and forth. So let's simulate that. And I could have found a flaw with this, otherwise I'll explain what's good about it. So what happens now? You're going to get picked back up. You are. And can you make your way down? Possibly not. It looked like he was about to then. Maybe if this minecart, this whole thing was a little further away, it'd have enough time to fall down. That might be the solution. But anyway, let's break that minecart and explain why that wasn't happening. It was because they were pushing the other ones along, and then when we removed it, he fell down into the gap. So if this is further away, that'll be our final test. I think we would have found a way to do this. So then when the minecart goes all the way back over here and there's nothing for it to pick up, hopefully this one will have enough time to fall down into the gap. So the answer is yes, and I saw it happen a moment ago. Maybe it'll work for this guy. The first one that I put down, basically, he came and fell over into this space. So there is going to be enough time in between. Let's just simulate that quickly by putting a block down here. So now it's not going to get any more. What are you going to do, guy? You're going to fall in there? Or are you going to get picked up again? There you go, you can fall down. So that's one solution. And a thought just crossed my mind. This doesn't have to be a straight path. If we're thinking about this being a farm, we could have a window to look inside of it when we stand here in AFK. And then we could bring this up and around behind us and drop them off into the crusher area, because that's where they're going to go down. They're going to go down into a basic crusher, and that works in a 3x2 space. I'm not sure if it's going to work in a 2x2. That's something else I'm going to check right now, actually. Let's see if we can make this work in a 2x2. But there is one more possibility that I wanted to explore, which was the long track idea that I talked about, where they go around taking lots of damage, and that reduces their health, and then it drops them off into the chamber where we're going to attack them. That is water. That's not what I wanted. Anyway, let's test this out and see if it works like this. So I think it's the same thing that we learned a moment ago. Because its hitbox is, you know, inside some of these blocks, it's not going to eject it. So it does indeed need to be free wide. Creepers be spawning. These guys can get in the way. Let's knock you off. So this track right here is 96 blocks long, and I've just tested it. It doesn't kill it, but I want to show you that, which is going to leave me on a final note here. So this guy goes all the way around. If we want to do this, basically, this is not the way to do it. You want to build a contraption where you send them around in a circle for a certain amount of time, and that will require a little bit of redstone, and a really interesting redstone challenge, because it'll be the sort of circuit I've never come across before, and I love that kind of stuff when you get a new reason to do things, and that's why I've been enjoying Game Mode 4 so much. So we know where we're at with this. We can technically build the farm, but I would like to leave it here and spend some time on the redstone to come up with something even more unique. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I have actually been struggling a little bit trying to get these videos out to you. It just takes a long time to play two vanillas at once, and I don't really want that to kind of affect things too much. So I want you guys to let me know, a comment down below, if you like this test world stuff, because if you do, it means we can focus on it a lot more. We can come up with cooler things, and it means I can make fun videos for you guys if you like this kind of stuff, if this stuff's fun to you, because I could spend a lot of time in a test world like trying things out and talking about them. So if you guys enjoy that, then that'll make for some good episodes, I hope. But anyway, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you have enjoyed it. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.